Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, I've got my favorite little handsaw. This is one of the ones that started up for me in about 8 pulls, 7 pulls, something like that. Just super dead reliable at this point. I've been in and out of this thing, oh geez, 10 times. Finally got a new jug and piston on it, I think the last time. But today's episode, I've got some dead pine trees, and we're going to talk about when is the perfect time to use a one-handed handsaw in the forest on the ground. Welcome to Man Time. Well, if it's your first time joining me on Man Time, you may not have got that joke, but it's been a long-standing thing. I like messing with people, because this, to most people, is going to be an arborist chainsaw, a top-handled chainsaw, a tree surgeon chainsaw. Some places even make you show some form of arborist certification to buy something that you can wield with one hand. It's just gotten a little bit crazy. Here on Man Time, I'm a little bit old school. This chainsaw is definitely old school. When they came out with this chainsaw and marketed it, it was the one-handed chainsaw, and that is how I will continue to reference it, so that history is not lost. But I've got some trees here, dead. You can see like missing bark. This is one of the main thoroughfare from the front of my property to the back of my property, and I need to do a little bit of cleanup here. But this tree shows a risk of falling down into the path, that is my thoroughfare. So we are going to attempt to take it down today. I didn't bring any wedges or anything, because typically with a tree this size, you're not going to be able to get a wedge in anyway. You're going to maybe be able to do like a back cut first, but if you do a back cut first where you can actually get a wedge in there and use it effectively, you're taking away so much of that backwood that something could happen. So let's get a close look at the tree here and come up with a plan of how to cut this down safely, so it's going to fall kind of where we want it to. It doesn't really matter. We're out here in the woods, but we want it to fall in a manageable way where it's not going to hurt us, because it's pretty tight in here. So, first thing is going to be cleaning up all the mess, but let's take a look at what we're working with today. Alright, well, here is probably the reason why this tree failed. This is going into another kind of right away down below my barn dominium there on the overhead intro shot. This is just off to the right, and there is a path coming through the woods here that goes back and just below the barn door to my shooting range down there, and you can just see the barn door up there. But these trees right here and that one right there, I'll get a better shot out of the light. This is kind of the main thoroughfare through the property here, and this tree poses a threat to fall down, during a storm or whatever. You can see there all missing bark, of course nothing up top, completely dead at this point. So let me get in here, clean out some of this smaller brush and stuff, and then we'll see where we go from there. So I guess just a couple things to note here before we get started. A couple of the things that I brought with me are going to be earplugs, safety glasses, and then I even brought some gloves. Thinking I might have to move some brush around. It's a real pain in the butt when you get little stickers off of branches and stuff coming and cutting your hands all up before you even get started on the job. So gloves, and then of course a fueled up and fully tuned up chainsaw that is going to start for you. So let's see how it wants to start today. There it goes. Okay, well, just a few things here. Now that I'm getting closer to the tree, I can actually see that it is, in fact, big enough where a wedge probably would have helped me out. So this is my hand, you know, against the tree. It's maybe 6 inches across there, but looking up the tree and kind of coming straight out, basically all of the weight of this tree is over and off to that side where all the branches are. So the ability to get this to fall that way is pretty easy. I've also got another dead one right there, and now this one is much smaller, like, you know, 3 inches across, if that. So this one is a good candidate for like a slash cut, where you're going to basically come in and cut across at a diagonal. It's going to snap off and fall, and then it's small enough where you can just kind of manhandle it, you know, to fall wherever you want it to. What is that? Yeah, the joys of living in a property that was owned by a product of the Depression. There's some sort of barrel-looking thing back there. Huh. Could even be like a transformer. Who knows? Anyways, back to the tree. Let's start off. Let's start off with this little guy. All right, this first one I wanted to show as an example of a slash cut. And again, this one is pretty well perfect for that. You do want to make sure that there's nothing like right here, right? Because you're going to cut, and whatever is like up here is going to now be like down in your face. So what I'm going to do is cut it this way, because I want to push it out this way. It is leaning back a little bit this way, but I think it'll all kind of work out here. So I'm going to cut like right about here. It should break off and fall. There's kind of stuff around it to hold it. So yeah, we'll see, just kind of see how it goes here. Yeah, there was a little dead branch in that one. Right as it fell and dropped, that little piece of branch broke loose. Kind of caught me. Well, good thing I had safety glasses on, let's just say that. Okay, one down. Let's try this next tree. All right, next tree in the lineup is going to be this one. Again, it is about 8 inches across or so. I could have brought a wedge, and it might have been slightly useful if I were to do like a back cut first. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. But it wants to go directly this way. So I'm just going to work with that. Come in here, put my face cut in it, come in with the back cut, and then just let it go. Should be pretty straightforward. Well, that's pretty much what I expected exactly to happen, right? It's fallen across this road into a bunch of trees. So now what do? Well, let's figure that out together. Typically what I'm going to do here is start undercutting the tree and letting it just drop and fall across the road. So we'll see how that goes. I like to do a cut in the top of it here on the tension side, or I'm sorry, on the compression side, where it's wanting to pinch together on the top, and then I'll come in from the tension side where it's wanting to pull apart and finish the cut off. Let's see if we can get it to fall across the road here. So now we've got it across the road here, exactly where we want it, on the ground. It was just that one cut. It found a path that it could fall through these trees and kind of broke up in the process, so that was nice, saves us a little time there. But let's go ahead. This will be perfect campfire wood. Again, dead pine tree. It's already going to be dry without the wood, without the bark on it. It's been dead for about a year now. So I'm going to cut this up into firewood size pieces with just my little handsaw here. Stihl 020AV. So showing off this little handsaw, I just wanted to show what it would do in this really dry pine. Again, this is very, very dry. But for a handsaw, one-handed operation saw, pretty nifty. I'm going to cut through this here. Oh man, that is glorious. Just coming off of a hot, humid summer, being able to get out here when it's just under 90 degrees and not humid is glorious. This is the perfect way to kind of like the reintroduction into the wild. I've been cooped up in the house for way too long, but I think this is a good example of when a handsaw is perfect for groundwork. Made super quick work of this. This handsaw in particular, top handle chainsaw, it's phenomenal. It just tore through this tree. Probably didn't use a quarter of a tank of gas, and it goes through the bar oil about as quick as it does a tank of gas. It really is a good system as far as lubing the chain and the efficiency of the engine. One thing about this saw, it uses a case-fed closed port design, similar to like everybody's favorite chainsaw, the 372, 365 design, where it's case-fed. Similar design here on this Stihl chainsaw. Very efficient. It's only like 36 cc, but it competes with 40 cc and all of the new chainsaws. It just beats the pants right off of them. So Stihl 020 star of the day. And now I got some campfire wood for when guests show up. So anyways, that's going to do it for today on Man Time. Get out there. Maybe some man time too.